How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a special what if, as this is actually a what if suggested by one of my patrons, Mr.Darkness. He gave the excellent idea, and I'm going to be turning it into a video for you, and I hope you enjoy it. If you guys want to have your ideas turned into videos, then make sure you go and join Mr. Darkness, Dreadpool, Patrick Sandlin, Always Zero, and John Lister over on Patreon. This week is the Patron What If week, where I'll be taking one suggestion from each of my patrons. So if you want to get your own what if turned into a video and yourself shout it out, then make sure to go over and join the official Damon What If Patreon. With all that, let's dive straight into this series. This scenario would begin with Kami taking Goku to see King Yemma after he was killed during the battle with Raditz. While talking with King Yemma, he agrees to let Goku go and train with King Kai. This time though, he decides to not have him go down Snake Way, as this Saiyan really is something special. But he's not going to be able to make it down Snake Way fast on his own. It's going to take a while. And time is something they can't afford to waste, as these Saiyans are going to be making their way to Earth in a year. If the Saiyans kill everybody on Earth, then there's going to be a lot of paperwork he has to set up and a lot of souls to check, which he already gets enough of as it is. So it would be better if Goku stopped these Saiyans. Yemma calls one of his Yardratian servants to take Goku to King Kai, and Goku says goodbye to Kami as he is teleported to King Kai's planet. Goku and Yardra instantly appear next to King Kai, which kinda surprises him as Goku instantly collapses on the ground. The gravity is much heavier here, which Goku wasn't expecting, and he has to struggle to stand up. King Kai yells at the Yardrat for interrupting him, and asks what him and this weird guy are doing here. The Yardrat explains that Goku is here to train under him in martial arts, and King Yemma grants him permission himself. King Kai is kinda weirded out that Goku didn't have to travel down Snake Way, as everybody else normally does, but hey, it's another student, so he doesn't mind. The Yardrat bids Goku farewell, returning to Yemma, and Goku begins his training under King Kai as a normal. Now, with Goku here at King Kai's immediately after his death, this is going to cause a lot of differences. The number one difference is that Goku gets an extra 6 months of training in. In the original, it took Goku roughly 6 months just to make it to King Kai's, so by the time he got there, he only had about 5 minutes left of training to get in. So instead of just a half a year of training this time, Goku now has pretty much a full year of training to undergo. And I'll say, that makes him much stronger. After the original 158 days in canon, Goku had managed to do the following. 1. Increase his power level from a max of 416 to over 8,000. 2. Reach a Kaioken level of max times 3 with strain. And 3. Create a small version of the Spirit Bomb. He only accomplished this in a little less than 5 months, which is insane to think about. So if Goku manages to get this far in his first 5 months, he's not going to stop there, as he literally still has a whole other 6 months to keep up with his training. Goku is going to be even stronger now. He was able to boost his fighting power by 19.2 times with just 6 months. Meaning we can determine that with another 6 months of Goku training to increase his power, and assuming he's straining his body with the Kaioken to really push his limits, we can expect another 19.2 times increase here. Probably even greater than that. But to lowball, we're going to keep 18.2 times, which means Goku now has a power level of 153,600. And that's just a low estimate. He could wipe the floor with Captain Ginyu now if he really wanted to. He's had so much more training to really hone in his skills and techniques, so his power would totally reach this level in no time flat. This isn't even bringing Kaioken in. Goku's max Kaioken he managed on Earth was a ×4, and that was only for a split second. With all of this extra training time and ability to use the Kaioken more, I'll say Goku was able to get his Kaioken multiplier to a total max of ×10, which is a whole lot more than what he was able to get in the canon Saiyan saga. With a max Kaioken of ×10, Goku was able to have a power level of around 1,536,000. Like, wow. Goku could probably face even second form Frieza now with a power level like that. Goku's Spirit Bomb is at max potential too, with it being as good as he used it in the Saiyan saga. King Kai can sense that Goku is leagues ahead of Vegeta or Nappa, and he most likely won't even have to use it. The time for Goku to return to Earth is at hand, with Goku thanking King Kai for all the amazing training, as he's confident he'll be able to defeat the Saiyans now. King Kai contacts Yardrat's servant, who teleports Goku back to the check-in station, where Kami teleports Goku back to the lookout. Goku can sense that the Saiyans have arrived, and are heading straight towards Piccolo and Gohan, so he quickly rushes off to go and help his friends. Since Goku is much stronger, he's much faster as well, and manages to reach Piccolo and Gohan before even the Saiyans. Gohan is enthusiastic to see his father again after all this time, and asks if he managed to get even stronger to defeat those guys. Goku turns and smiles at his son, saying that he'll do the honors of taking care of these guys. The rest of the Z Fighters arrive to see Goku, and are all thankful that he's made his way back, and he seems to be much more powerful now. Vegeta and Nappa just laugh, detecting a weak power on the Scouter, not taking Goku seriously. How much more power could he have gotten after Raditz? They decided to check it out by sending out the Cybermen and having all of them rush Goku. This goes similar to the Yamcha manga, where they all blow up in Goku's face and he just laughs, wiping dust particles off of him, not phased at all. Nappa for one is extremely shocked. There's no way that he was able to tank that whole explosion. He must be hiding his true power. Nappa goes in to fight against Goku, and it isn't much of a fight at all, with Nappa being bullied even harder than in canon. Crippled to the ground even faster than before, with him not being able to land a single blow on Goku. Vegeta is even angrier than before that Nappa failed so hard, and kills him as normal, attacking Goku himself. Goku is still in complete control of this fight, as even without the Kaioken, he is more than enough for Vegeta. Vegeta is using his full power of 18,000, and this can't do anything to Goku, who is frankly disappointed that these Saiyans turned out to be so weak. Vegeta isn't handling this battle very well, as he's losing very badly. So, he unleashes his Spirit Ball, transforming himself into the Great Ape. Vegeta had to use some of his power to make the ball, and even before, he was beaten badly by Goku. So even as a Great Ape, Vegeta's power may be even weaker than before. Goku, still without even needing to use the Kaioken, is able to beat Vegeta back badly down to base form, with Vegeta in the same situation as Nappa, crippled on the ground. All of the Z Fighters were in complete shock. They didn't even need to intervene, as Goku managed to deal with all of these guys in no time, without even breaking a sweat. Of course, Goku is still Goku, and he allows Vegeta to get away, heading back to Frieza planet to heal himself. Goku turns back to the other fighters, as they all congratulate him on a job well done. They can always count on Goku to come in and save them. Piccolo asks Goku how he managed to get this powerful, as he could easily wipe the floor with him. Goku says he trained with the Kai in the other world to get a lot of power, and with all the training he did, these guys were no match for him. Piccolo has become a changed man now, and asks Goku if he'd be willing to train with him, and Goku says of course, as Piccolo and him still need to have that rematch, and it won't be any fun if Piccolo can't defend himself in the slightest. The Z Fighters all separate, with this encounter having a much happier ending. All of the Z Fighters survived, and unscathed, with them having no need to travel to Namek, as they have their own Dragon Balls here. Goku returns to his home with Gohan, and this time, they have Piccolo around to train with them as well. And all these three begin their own training together. Another big change too, is that Nappa and Vegeta never brought up Piccolo's origins, mainly because they were so focused on Goku. Which means Frieza never heard about Namek, and isn't going to be going there. But he has heard about the Dragon Balls though from the Saiyans, and instead of heading to Namek, he's going to Earth. Frieza and his armies make their way to the planet a few months after Vegeta has left, and the soldiers all go and try to track down the Dragon Balls with their scouters. Except there are a lot more humans than Namekians, so it's going to be very hard for them to individually track them down like they did on Namek. The Z Fighters are all terrified by Frieza's power, as it's enormous. Goku isn't too worried, and is kind of excited that another strong warrior has made their way to the planet, and hopefully this one will actually be a challenge. Goku and the others arrive on the scene, and encounter Frieza, Zarbon, and Dodoria. Frieza takes one look at Goku and is surprised to see another Saiyan on this planet. He thought that Vegeta was the only one left. So this is pretty interesting. Frieza kindly asks Goku to hand over the Dragon Balls, but they're all not budging. They can sense how evil Frieza is, so they're not going to let him get the Dragon Balls. Frieza tells Zarbon and Dodoria to take care of these guys, and they both rush in to attack and prove a lesson. But Goku easily knocks him back towards Frieza. Zarbon and Dodoria are shocked, as they just got knocked back with one hit. Zarbon even transforms to try and get a great deal of damage. But this still isn't anything to the Saiyan, and he is knocked unconscious, along with Dodoria. Frieza is very impressed with this, as two of his elite soldiers were taken out in no time flat. Frieza steps in to try out Goku himself, as the other Z Fighters fight off the rest of Frieza's soldiers. Goku has gotten a little stronger through training with Gohan and Piccolo, but it's only been a few months of trying to get these two on his level, so his power level has only managed to reach 155,000. So Goku is pretty much no match for Frieza right now in his base power. Luckily for Goku though, he manages to access Kaioken times 5, boosting his power to 775,000. Goku begins to have the advantage over Frieza, overwhelming the Emperor. Frieza is pretty disgusted how a filthy monkey could get this strong, even stronger than him. He isn't going to let himself be beaten, and he transforms into his second form. Goku is absolutely shocked. This is a whole lot of power, and he knows that he has no way of winning the way he is now. The rest of the Z Fighters manage to take down all of Frieza's soldiers pretty easily, especially Gohan and Piccolo, who have gotten amazing gains through training with Goku. The group watches in horror as Goku is being thrown around by the Emperor. Goku doesn't want to stress out his body too much with the Kaioken, only going up to times 8, and being able to exceed Frieza in power. This isn't an easy fight though, as Frieza is very durable and deadly with his attacks, which weakens Goku a little bit more. Frieza can tell that as he is now, he's not going to be able to win, and flies off slightly to try and transform into his third form. Goku is in complete panic now. How many transformations does this guy have? Sure, he wants a good fight, but if Frieza transforms again, it's not going to be a fight. It's going to be a massacre. Goku tries his best to hold off Frieza from transforming again, but it's getting more and more tiring. Just like in canon, Goku tries to launch his Spirit Bomb, and Frieza fights him off. Luckily, there are a lot more Z Fighters to help out Goku this time in holding off Frieza. And since Frieza is still in his third form, he isn't able to hold them all off as easily as would be able to in his final form. This Spirit Bomb would definitely be a lot stronger than one on Namek too, since there are more people on Earth to give energy, and Goku might collect energies from nearby planets too, since he might think that the Earth doesn't give off enough energy. Now, of course, Earth has much more life than Namek did in canon, so the Spirit Bomb would be much larger. The Z Fighters get beaten up a lot, but are able to hold off Frieza enough for Goku to throw the Spirit Bomb. This Spirit Bomb would be much more devastating for Frieza, since it's much more powerful than the one on Namek, and he's also in his third form, so once Goku throws the Spirit Bomb down, Frieza is completely obliterated. That's right, Frieza is dead. The day is saved once again by Goku, and once again, nobody died. Of course, Goku still isn't satisfied with this match, as he couldn't defeat Frieza with his own strength, so he needs to train even harder to exceed Frieza in power. The Z Fighters go off to train once again, and we end this very different Frieza saga. This episode has gone on for a while though, so we're going to leave this right here. Goku going to King Kai's a lot earlier led to huge changes, and we're nowhere near finished yet. Remember, Vegeta and King Cold are still out there, and Goku still hasn't gotten Super Saiyan. So we're going to be heading into a very different Android saga. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, Mr. Darkness, and thank you so much for being a patron of mine. And thank you all so much for watching, and until we meet again. See you later!